2 to 6 and Dave Anderson's at the beach. How does it look, Dave?
G'day there, Jen. Yes, well, completely overcast for the first day of summer. A little bit of a break in the clouds just down towards the south, but there's still some low cloud there off the coast. We've got the wind out of the northeast already this morning. That's between 5 to 10 knots. That's going to strengthen later on.
No matter where you are in sort of Newcastle as a city, you're only ever 20 minutes from the beach, and I think that's a great leveler as well. Like we all have an ownership of our coastline and have a right to enjoy it and interact with each other in it and all that sort of thing. We kind of trace Novocastrian's relationship with the sea and the beach from earliest human occupation of Newcastle, or what would become Newcastle, right up to the present day. So we've got stories about Indigenous use of the beach and the sea, and then we've got sort of the story of how local perceptions of the beach have changed over about a century. So at the turn of the century, swimming at the beach during the day, it's illegal. You're not allowed to do it. Things change in 1907. It's legal all of a sudden, but then people start drowning. So over the Christmas period of 1907 to 1908, they have 3 drownings at Newcastle Beach between Christmas and New Year's, and that sort of like continues on into the establishment of the kind of ocean baths that we have in Newcastle, with the Newcastle baths and the Merewether baths. So this is one of the original diving blocks from the Merewether baths. When council was refurbishing the baths in 2014, as a service of the City of Newcastle, we were offered the diving blocks. We couldn't take all 10, we don't have room for them, but we took number 1. And so number 1 is now part of this wonderful mural set up here in Newcastle Story, painted by Trevor Dickinson. And you can stand up on the block like this and get your photo taken.
I grew up at the beach and spend a lot of time here, and I had the opportunity to a safe environment by the lifeguards, so now that I can provide that opportunity to other people, so that is something that's really rewarding and definitely influenced me in becoming a council lifeguard.
How do you adjust the test for the shark alarm? Not the real thing.
So the origins of the shark alarm were originally it was a ringing of the bell to warn people that there was a shark, but then after World War II the air raid sirens became redundant, so they suggested they use the air raid sirens to be the shark alarm. So it originated here in Newcastle after World War II.
And then we go into surf culture as well. We have on display Mark Richards' surfboard that he won his last world title with in 1982. We've got swimming costumes. We have archaeological collections that were dug up around Newcastle Beach when they were upgrading for the supercars events. And it's really interesting to see how that relationship has changed, because at one point, Newcastle Beach, there was a dump on it. And so, all this refuse from the hospital and the businesses around the area would be thrown down onto the beach. And that has to change, because people are recognising the beach as this sort of this place for recreation and this place for health and fitness and all of that sort of thing. They end up having to hire a punt and just take the garbage out to sea, which, as far as I'm concerned, the rubbish is still ending up on the beach, but there you go.
It's a good news weather report. Who would have thought? Temperatures rising, nice little Goldilocks zone in there. It's going to be just right, not too cool, not too hot. Going to the beach, well, westerly winds and the swell building made for a cracker of a day. Sun was out, and we'll see those winds switch as we move through the day.
Okay, thank you, Gav.
You've done a great job. Thanks, Gav.
Surfing was regarded as something that lazy, good-for-nothings did. It didn't have much credibility. However, at that particular time, Mark Richards was on his 2nd world title pursuit, so that was a bit of a coup. And we had so many surfers in the area, and I thought it's time that surfing got the recognition and the credibility that it deserves. Anyway, as luck would have it, 4 days later I was on air, and that was the start of it. And I think we did surf reports for about 6 years, and they were the first televised surf reports in Australia. So it was quite significant, especially for a regional television station to take that on. And I believe that we had a hand in assisting to raise the image of surfing. I don't know whether it was such a good idea to promote the sport because there are so many people surfing.
Always a different aspect to the beach each morning. I've always managed to get to the beach to do my surf reports. It's never been, people say, oh, you just sit at home and look out your window or stuff like that. But no, I physically actually come to the beach each morning. Like I said, there's always something different. And it'll always be the case, the one morning you don't turn up will be the morning that something happens and you get asked about and you can't comment about.
I don't like these, thin flat white.
My experience of summer is, hot, sunny days, nor'east winds in the afternoons, and the smell of sunscreen.
The sound of breaking waves, the sound of kids enjoying the beach, and the sound of the lifeguards making announcements on the PA.
There's that smell in the air when summer's here. You get up and there's that smell in the air and you just know that it's summer. And of course, living on the coast and going to the beach and surfing, everything just went hand in hand. So early mornings, off to the beach, at the beach all day, going home late in the afternoon, sunburned of course because we didn't know much about sunblock back in those days, and just exhausted because we'd been at the beach all day. But really, what a great lifestyle.
When I was a little kid, my father and I, we would go to the rock pools at Merewether Beach, and we would, take a little plastic tank and some little aquarium nets, and we'd go catching fish at low tide. So I think for me, the sort of sounds of summer are the sort of the roar of the ocean as the tide starts to come in and the day is ending and all that sort of thing.